Hello and welcome to the Public Speaking Channel. Here you'll find tons of public and professional speaking tips, webinars, sample programs, magic, humor, and comedy routines. You'll see both old and new footage. And hey, some of it might be a little fuzzy when we captured some specific thing on tape from a speech I may have done years ago. What I can assure you of is that this skill has made me millions of dollars as a professional speaker. Hey, but I get it. Being a pro speaker may not be your thing. Maybe you just want to amaze your coworkers. Maybe you want to climb the corporate ladder. Maybe you want to promote your own business. That's a great way to use speaking. Hey, maybe speaking for you is just a hobby. Whatever you're here for, I can assure you there will be something here that will help your speaking and give you ideas to take your presentations to a much higher level. Now, some of the techniques you'll see here haven't changed in years. What has changed significantly is the listening patterns of audiences. The younger audience members, they came out of the womb with cell phones in their hands and they can either pay attention to you or their phone. Now, it's more important than ever to use my Wake 'em Up techniques to knock the audience into attention over and over again during your talk. The way I teach you to do this will make you the talk of the next presentation. Now, in a good way, that is. I don't want people talking about how boring you were. So, why should you listen to me? Well, I've done over 3,000 paid presentations in 11 countries. In the past 16 years or so, I haven't really done a major presentation where I sold less than $100,000 at the back of the room. I virtually always sell more than anyone else, and frequently I sell more than all the other speakers put together. But let me add this, I'm not obnoxious about it. I don't get complaints, people don't ask for refunds, and I'm not high pressure at all. I'm high content to show my value, not high pressure to get them to buy. And I'll be talking about that in future episodes in the pro speaking category of this channel. Now, I also believe I've taught more pro speakers than anyone living. Now, how can I claim that? Well, I've been asked to teach pro speakers over 100 times at the prestigious National Speakers Association and their chapters in 7 different countries. I think that's some kind of record. And I'm past president of the National Capital Area chapter of that organization. And speaking of presidents, I was asked by MSNBC to critique ours in his speech to Congress. Plus, I created the best-selling ever professional speaker training system, the Wake 'em Up Video Pro Speaking System. Well, I've got way more credentials, but suffice it to say, I've been around a little bit and have tips that work in the real world where we say many audiences eat their young. But one thing you might notice is that I don't use PowerPoint when I speak. I don't want you depending on PowerPoint to make you a great speaker. I want you to be so great yourself, you could be the last speaker between the audience and the golf course on a program in Las Vegas at a sales rally, and they'd still listen to you. That's how good I want you to be. So let's get to the first round of tips, where just to give you a taste, I compiled a bunch of miscellaneous tips, and then in other episodes, I'll start taking you on a more structured journey towards being a great speaker every time you stand up there. Let's get to it. Well, hi folks, I'm here with the Wake 'em Up book. I wrote this several years ago when after about 7 years of research of some of the best speakers in the world and all the things that I had gleaned from my many presentations. One of the tips that I learned in those years of study was to use emotional language to move people to action. And that's pretty much my take on what a professional speaker should be doing. They should be moving people from where they are to where they want them to go. If they move any which way, it's good compared to just staying where you are and doing nothing. Because even if you move in a bad direction, you will learn from your mistakes. So move people to action. Now I've got one little technique on how to do that, and it has to do with picking the words that push people's emotional buttons. I'm going to give you an example from the Wake 'em Up book here of a plea for funds to put up a traffic light and a guardrail at an intersection. I'm going to give you the basic facts, and then I'm going to give you the facts with emotional language inserted, and you tell me which one you think would have gotten the funding. Here's the basic facts. There have been 11 accidents in the past year at the sharp curve, which is 2 miles north of Cherokee Lake on Route 857. Installation of guardrails, warning signs, and a flashing light will cost approximately $34,000. Even though we have not balanced the budget this year, I feel that we should appropriate money for this project. Thank you. That might be a basic fact set given at a committee meeting or community meeting to raise these funds. Now let's take the same set of facts and put emotional language in, and you see the different reaction that you feel from hearing these words. On July 18th of this year, John Cochran was found dead. The radio of his car was still playing when the paramedics got there, and they saw his overturned vehicle. John's neck was broken. It was snapped when his car flipped over an embankment. No one here knows John Cochran because he did not live here, but he died in our neighborhood. Most of you do know the hairpin turn on Route 857 that has been the scene of 11 accidents this year alone and has injured many friends as well as strangers. We need money to put up guardrails, signs, and a flashing light. I know money is tight, but I hope you see fit to find the funds to remedy this situation before the unknown John Cochran becomes one of your loved ones. Woo, I get goose pimples just reading that. See, I picked the emotional words to push people's buttons. I'll just give you a little recap of some of those words and how they were inserted in the basic set of facts to get the emotional reaction. Basically, I put in words to create pictures in your mind. His car flipped over. His neck was broken. Very graphic pictures. He died in our neighborhood. I want to make you feel guilty a little bit because it was our neighborhood that let this happen. The radio of his car was still playing. I want a picture of this car overturned with the wheels still spinning, the radio blasting, and the smoke pouring out to get that picture so that I push your emotional buttons to get that money to make the situation better. This is what you need to do as professional speakers. It doesn't have to be graphic like this, but you do need to identify the emotional words that push people's buttons so that you can make them move to action.